My name is Esraa. I'm 22 years old and I'm a recent graduate from the City College of New York. I currently work for CoverGirl and Clairol's PR team. I think I started noticing the challenges once I started applying for internship programs, and I knew I wanted to be in the beauty field. One of the challenges obviously is, how do you explain to your mom that you want to do something related to cosmetics when you live in a world where everyone wants to be doctors and lawyers, and that's the only way to seem that you have some type of prestigious career. So that was challenge number one. And challenge number two was, how do I get my foot in the door? Without networking, without knowing anything about the industry, with just being a CCNY student, there's a CUNY stigma alone with that. So I started working really hard and making connections and putting myself out there and networking and meeting the right people. And I finally got an internship. And I think once I got my internship, it was a clear notice that I was a lot different than everyone else. I work in an amazing agency, but it's predominantly white women. I knew I didn't want to be tokenized as that one, like the Muslim Black girl. And I really tried to stay far away from that. But also in that moment, I learned like I should embrace my culture and accept my culture, because if anything, that makes my opinion that much more valid. At the end of the day, I think a lot of people, and Muslims specifically, get really frustrated when we see people put us out in a specific way and we say, well, how do they know that? They don't know anything about Muslims. It's clear. I can see in this campaign they know nothing about our people. But how do you expect people to get campaigns right geared towards Muslims or just diverse populations if we don't have a seat at the table? Step one is we need to have a seat at the table, and then we can get it right. At a very young age, started watching YouTube. I still remember being 16 years old. Me and my best friend Bianca, we walked to the drugstore after watching all these videos, and the first foundation I bought was CoverGirl Clean, ironically. And it's funny because when I tell my bosses these stories, they're like, that's hysterical, because CoverGirl Clean is literally aimed to 16-year-olds. And I was like, okay, this is a really good connection, clearly. And in that moment, I started becoming obsessed with it. I was in love with this idea. And then I literally got to watch this evolve on social media, from just YouTubers sitting there and putting makeup on their face to it becoming $1 million industry, literally. And I knew I wanted to be part of it, because I think all of us, if we scroll through our Instagram feeds and we're on, the Morphes and the Anastasia Beverly Hills, there was a moment where we only saw white women being represented as if white women are the only people who buy makeup. And I knew it was a very frustrating pain point for me that if I went to the drugstore, I potentially can't find my color. And I knew I wanted to be on the back end of that. I didn't want to be putting the makeup on people, but I wanted to make it accessible to people. I wanted people to feel included in that discussion. And I knew the only way to be in that is to be in PR, because when you're in PR, you're in the business of changing people's behaviors and ideas about a brand. So that's why I got into PR. There's always this fine battle between feeling like, do they really accept my ideas and think I'm that amazing just because I'm smart? Or is it because wow, she's smart for a Muslim girl, or she's smart for a hijabi? And do those thoughts go through my head? Of course, every single day. But at the same time, I realize I carry a very heavy weight on my shoulders, because I realize if I mess this up, the next hijabi who wants to do this, they're not going to take a chance on her, because there's going to be a stigma that they can't get the job done. So am I really on top of my stuff? Yes, I am, because I literally want to see more girls who look like me in this industry. Sadly enough, you're always going to get tokenized. It's an you have to accept it. And I think there are people who really fight it, or there are people who could take it and somehow make it positive and look at it as I'm that voice to check them. So when CoverGirl picked someone like Nura, I was ecstatic, because one, I love her, and two, I never thought in a million years I'd literally see a girl in a hijab in an advertisement, a national campaign all across the US, especially at a time where Trump was running and now has won. And we are forcing people who absolutely hate the idea of Islam, that want to send us back to our countries, to look at a Muslima every single day on a beauty campaign, standing aside a gay man, standing beside two Black women, standing beside Katy Perry. And what type of statement does that make to them? It's forcing people in the US to accept that Muslims are here to stay, and we are successful and positive attributes to all the communities that we are in, inshallah.